factor. This game's for real, no lies or no actors. Pick your character, don't wanna represent your life. You start with anybody, so make your choice right.
Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick.
Alrighty. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. And wasn't expecting to throw any poultry on the menu, but why not? You know what I'm saying? Got to take advantage of your opportunities while you have them. So that's a thing. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company ever. Here we go. So, I've been meaning to go over some LTG stuff. I've done maybe 1 or 2 projects this year. And in 2026, I plan to do a whole lot more because there's a lot to go over. There's a lot that I missed and so on and so forth. So anyway, try to kind of build a rhythm on this. And I went to a few of the troll channels to see if I could find this. And I'm just going to go right to the source for the next few of these, just because it's kind of easier at the moment or whatnot. The accessibility is there. And then if I end up, you know, if my opinion changes as it usually does, we can actually watch the more entertaining aspect of it and go to the troll channels later. But in any case, we're gonna go over this this interesting story where, not even story, Lowtiergod gets mad at the idea, or he responds poorly, I should say, to someone saying that he's a bad person, he's a brand risk, so on and so forth. Which, I mean, yeah, he's all those things. Like, he's all those things. Now, keep in mind, it depends on the brand. Depends on what they want to push. But yeah, I would say overall, he's definitely not, he's probably more brand friendly than DSP, but that doesn't say much. Or does it really mean much? But in any case, let's go into my favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully your favorite segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, is LTG a bad person? Yeah, actually, fundamentally, he's a bad person, to be honest with you. Just based off of his self-hatred, to be honest with you, is what makes him a fundamentally bad person, because he can't accept who he is, to be honest with you. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he has to accept his lot in the world, if you will. Just the color of his skin doesn't close the avenues that he makes it seem. It's because of people like him that that people get the idea that certain aspects in life are closed off from them because of the color of their skin. He's literally an arbitrator of that. So that's a thing. But yeah, he's a bad person. You know what I'm saying? He's fundamentally a bad person, truth be told. It's not just the self-hatred. It's how he treats people. It's how he views the world and the people in it. It's his entitlement. It's the fact that despite all of the things that he says that he has accomplished, the reality is he's in the exact same place. It's him making bad business decisions, which has allowed his trolls to become stronger, and he's only getting the results of trickle down of the trickle down economy. He's fundamentally a shitty person because you got a child out there that you're not taking care of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm told that he's recently kind of sort of admitted that it's his. But you're a bad person for a lot of reasons. We're all bad people to some extent. Some of us just more than others. No one's running around here holier than holy. But then again, that's how he's marketed himself. He's marketed himself to be a bad person. When he took them shots at Boogie and fat people all those years ago, that started it up. When he was the bad guy of the FGC, that's how that all started. And so on and so forth. It all cascades from there. So that's where the situation is. Now, if you start getting into, well, is he evil? Then yeah. Then, you know what I'm saying? But no one's asking him that. Like, LTG is definitely evil. For sure, for sure. But for sure, he revels in it. To be honest with you, he revels in it. He wishes badly on people just because he's not able to move around in a way that they do. You know what I'm saying? Amongst other things. I could go on a whole tangent about that shit. But yeah, you're a bad person. Just own it and keep it pushing. There are plenty of bad people in the world who made it well for themselves. You can't be hated and loved at the same time. That's just not the case. Whatever side that you fall on that, you got to eat that. Or you change, and change is hard. You know what I'm saying? Change is fundamentally hard, especially if you believe you're right. So that's where LTG's problem is. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and listen to him basically try to make his case against this. The link to this will be down in the description as usual, and we'll see what's what. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We'll see what's what. Because I've never watched this, so I don't even know what this is. Or at least not directly through him. I'm sure I've watched it through a troll channel. Because big ups to the troll channels. And without further ado, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I would say I don't smell no bacon cooking, but realistically, I don't smell no chicken cooking. So let's go ahead and get to that. You know what I'm saying? I do not smell no chicken cooking. Let's go ahead and see if we can make that work. Now, the question is, do we go with pan fried? Do we pressure cook it? Do we bake it? Do we pan sear it? You know what I'm saying? There's so many options when it comes to chicken. Everybody loves chicken. Because everybody loves chicken. Anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and grab this video and keep it pushing. Anyway, hopefully you guys are all doing well. And here we go. Let me see if I can get this started.
Why would I be a brand risk? What
Okay, now just for the record, that echoes on his end. Now, because usually, actually like 98% of the time, all the bad audio is on my part. But this time it's on him. And that ain't me just going ahead and doing black on black crime. I'm just saying that's what it was. That's what the situation is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the one and only Lowtiergod. Let's see here. Lowtiergod responds to claims saying that he's a bad person. This is from October 17th of 2025. The link to this will be down in the description. Okay. Without further ado, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Why would I be a brand risk? What have I done? Well, you know what? Let's pause the music now. I got a question for everybody in chat. It's Blizzing. Shut up for the 18 months. You know what I love to hear? And I still have not figured this shit out. I still haven't figured this out. When people say this one fucking thing, Lowtiergod is a bad person. Explain to me how. I want to hear what niggas say. How am I a bad person?
There's a bunch of ways that you're a bad person, but that also varies by the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like anything else. Like, for example, is GTG a good content creator? Hell no. I'll have to be the first one to tell you. But if you ask 10 people that, you're going to come up with 10 different reasons why he is or why he isn't or why he just isn't. That's just the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? LTG has been on YouTube. Same thing with Wings, DSP, Review Tech USA, all of them. And what I should go ahead and just call myself a variety detractor, because theoretically, at least going into the new year, I'm going to be doing a lot of variety detracting. Let me run that by a friend of mine real quick and see if I can turn that into something, because it does sound kind of funny if you think about it. Anywho, everybody will have their reasons for not liking you and whatnot, or thinking you're a bad person, set the third. You knocking down one of their claims doesn't change anything, because there'll always be something new that'll come up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all villains in somebody's story. You know what I'm saying? Whether you meant to do it or not, it is what it is. And yet again, when you put yourself out here like this online, there are people that are going to have opinions of you. He's said and done a lot of vile shit. You know what I mean? You, no matter how funny or entertaining that you thought it was, which some of it was quite funny, I gotta admit, it's still pretty heinous and vile shit that he's done as well. So keep that in mind.
I love to hear this shit. Let's hear it, because every time I ask this question, nobody got a real answer. It's like these are just programmed to say it. So how am I?
And that he's gonna go by the angle, and this is something that Rich does, DSP does, Wings does. That, all right, tell me what I did that's so bad. What makes me such a horrible person? The moment you give it to them, then be like, well, I'm not as bad as this person. I'm not as bad as that person. How long ago was that? I don't do that anymore. Oh, okay, so you don't do that anymore, but you found other ways of being a vile piece of shit. Okay, I guess you go ahead and checkmated me on that. You see what I'm saying? Like, shit like that don't work. That's why lol cows exist.
Bad person. No, it's not a trap. Just say what you think. So either I can correct it or laugh at it. How am I a bad person? Let's think about what a bad person is. And let me know how the fuck am I a bad person. Let's just think about that. Because I know what bad people do. They kill people, they are people, they steal from people, they cause all types of bullshit in society. They prey on the weak, so on and so forth.
You do, well, you haven't killed anybody. You haven't robbed anybody that I know of. But then again, didn't you take like a plea, or didn't you take on a fucking charge for some chick that you thought you loved or whatever, and she actually finessed your ass? And then that ain't sat there and pretty much fucked your entire life up. Hence the reason why it's either hard for him to get a regular job or it's hard for him to keep it and whatnot, which is the reason why he's always gravitated towards content creating and streaming, because he ain't fucked himself in IRL for some chick who didn't give a shit about him. Whatever. Semantics. You've just done, like, just accept what you've done, man, and just keep it pushing, bro. You're never going to change anybody's narrative on you. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, has he murdered anybody? No. Has he stolen from anybody in particular that I could think of? Probably not, outside of a childhood type of situation. But he certainly said some pretty vile shit and whatnot. And does that make him, can you go ahead and hold somebody to their word and determine whether they're a good person or a bad person? Well, yeah, kinda. Kinda. You know what I'm saying? It's not completely an act. He's not, the whole concept of I'm being edgy or shock value, or none of that bullshit holds no more. You know what I'm saying? That shit should have never held, to be honest with you. Because at least with a shock jock, they own that shit from Jump Street. Hey, I'm going to say shit to get y'all riled up. I'm going to say shit to get you guys to hate watch me. If you come front face with all that bullshit, then that's just you automatically accepting everything that comes with. People like LTG will sit there and say whatever the fuck that comes to mind. Once the backlash comes up, he basically tries to call them all peons and they don't understand shit. And then as that shit continues to roll about or roll on, then he's having a harder and harder time dealing with it because he can't dismiss it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like most lol cows, they don't realize that they're online, the internet's forever, and anything you say is going to be clipped and it's going to be archived by somebody. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of things.
So I want to know how I'm bad. Let's hear it. How am I a bad person? Android support has nothing to do with me because I literally don't have one.
Oh boy, like that shit. And then, like I said, why would you relegate, even, let's say hypothetically, let's say if it wasn't his child, it's his child. But what if it wasn't his child? It's his child. But what if it wasn't? Why would you relegate anybody's child to that? Whether it's yours or not. You know what I mean? Like, why do you need to call a child that?
Anything else? That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just trying to figure out when you say that, what does that mean?
Just because you choose not to claim it doesn't mean it's not yours.
Because I'm trying to figure out, how am I a bad person? What have I done to be labeled as a bad person? I'm just curious about this. Only thing you can think about is my truth against blacks that is labeled as racism. That doesn't make me a bad person. I'm telling the truth. I just think that I'm a COO. Okay, so
the funny thing is though about that, right? Is if that's how he feels, that's how he feels, right? The thing is he embodies those same, like, the same traits that he says is bad and holds back a race and all of that. He literally embodies that. You know what I'm saying? He has damn near all of those negative traits or stereotypes or whatever you want to call it in spades. So you're not above it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you're a statistic to it, which makes it even more unfortunate because your daughter is going to eventually be a statistic to it as well. Unless her mother really stays on her A game on the next, however old his daughter is. Unless she really stays on her A game the next 10 plus years out. If not, you're all of that and some.
I think I'm a COO and that makes me a bad person. Excellent. That still doesn't register with me to what could be labeled a bad person. Because
and see, but that's the problem though too. I can't even call it morals, but his way of thinking, anything that he said or done, he can explain it or justify it in his own head. So there's no way that he's a bad person because he don't think it. Well, that's not how the world works, champ. Just because you have this little space on the internet, right? Just because you're able to garner this little bit of attention doesn't mean that everything you say is right or wrong based on your, not even his belief system, just on what he thinks at that moment. That's not how that works.
I'm exposing the negative impact of black culture Anything else? I like, we got 800.
But see, I can't say that's like saying, oh, every black man beats his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. That's not true. Just like how you say not every white guy does it, or every Asian guy does it, or every Hispanic guy does it. So that doesn't make up black culture. Not even close. Or not even close. Just because you picked a bunch of situations with a bunch of dudes doing some fucking reckless ass shit does not speak for an entire culture. It's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. And here's the interesting thing about that. The very people that he criticizes, the degrees of separation between them and him are minute. Like, I'm talking about 1 or 2 fucking tweaks one way or another. He's right there with him. If you really think about it. He's not any more intelligent, right, than any of the other fucking YNs running around there doing wild shit that he likes to comment on. And he's no more talented than any of them. And the same shit that they bitch and complain about, he does the exact same damn thing.
Close to 800 in here. Like, no, couple hundred on Emerald or whatever the fuck. I'm trying to figure out how to.
I'm still trying to figure out how you owed Emerald money. Oh, kick, by the way. I'm crazy. I'm still fucking wild the fuck out that you owed them money. That's insane that you owed them money. Fucking hey.
Am I a bad person? What's up? The Brawley Lake shit, bro. I got rebuttal for everything. The Brawley Lake shit don't make me a bad person.
The fuck it didn't. That was dumb. But here's the thing though too. You can say that about any of his FGC shit. Any of those beefs that they had, at the end of the day, both sides benefited. It helped his bad guy, piece of shit persona, if you will, his villain persona, if you will, and it gave Broly Legs a bunch of publicity that honestly he needed. But unfortunately, I still think in the end, RIP to Broly Legs, by the way, Broly Legs still didn't get the recognition, or let's reword that. He got the recognition, but he didn't benefit from set recognition and that of sponsorships or endorsements. Because I don't know. I'm not even going to try to even make heads and tails of that. Because I don't know. Because there are not plenty, but there are people in the history of the FGC who were disabled physically at the very least. And they were able to garner support, I guess, to keep doing what they're doing. And I don't know if Broly Legs' expectations were too high, or it just wasn't realistic for that time. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know Broly Legs, before he passed, a year or two, maybe a few years before he passed, he did vent his frustration on Twitter on how he couldn't get a team to pick him up and so on and so forth. But that's on some other shit.
Dude was trying to roast me. I roasted him back. How am I a bad person? That makes me a bad person? We do know what bad people are and what bad people do, right? Motherfuckers that chop people up, people that anthros, women, all types of shit.
Okay, we're going way too far about this bullshit. now we're trying to go to some extreme and shit to separate ourselves from whatever, which is what I said earlier on. He plays that angle like most people do when they get back into a corner. It's a very human-esque thing to do, where, oh, if you say I'm a bad person, well, there are people who do worse things out there. Like Review Tech do that same shit. For example, Review Tech did that same shit not too long ago, a few years ago. He had came up with these parameters for like stream goals or whatever, right? And one of the consequences, if he didn't fall through or come through on those things, was he would have to donate to charity. Now, why is charity a punishment for Review Tech USA? I don't know. Especially a children's charity. Especially a children's charity that someone like his daughter would benefit from. Semantics. Anyway, he didn't come through, and he had to pay $1,500. And he did it. He did it on stream, but he did it begrudgingly. He bitched and complained the entire way. And the first thing that comes out of this fucking idiot's mouth is that there are people out there graping kids and doing all this ridiculous shit, but you guys want to hold me to task for $1,500. $1,500. A goal that he set, a punishment, I should say, that he said if he didn't hold to his word. That right there hurt him so much that he had to bring up children getting fucking molested as a type of fucking as a curtain, or as fucking a shield to show that he wasn't as bad, or he was the lesser of the two evils. That's insane. That's literally insane that you would bring up a child being violated to defend yourself because you had to kick up $1,500 that you owed. It's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? When these lol cows come up out their face with this ridiculous shit.
Stalk women, beat women, calm people. I mean, those are bad people, right? PDFs, all types of shit. All right, to the person that keep putting that ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. You're banned too, by the way. That has nothing to do with me.
If that's the case, then why'd you ban him? If it doesn't affect you in any type of way, then let him talk and get your chat engagement and keep it pushing.
I keep telling you, don't try to use my lingo towards me, because, like, get the fuck out of you, worthless. Anyways, I don't need to look at the name and see what pops up. Because everything that people say is quote unquote bad is programmed. Like, I've never done anything to be labeled as a quote unquote bad person. I've never done anything in life in this whole media space to be labeled as a quote unquote brand risk. What I had one outburst in 2020 over some fucking video game.
You had a bunch of outbursts, to be honest with you. But even the FGC, the fighting game outbursts and shit were kind of funny. So that's not even really the problem. It's when he started getting into the personal attacks. It's when he started looking at people's Twitter and Instagram. It's when he found the physical. It's when he was able to identify and go after physical traits about them and shit. Like, you calling Broly some type of crane or cran, or no, is it crane? Not crane. Is it cron? Fuck. You know, the little alien dude from fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I want to say his name was Crane. But anyway, you equating him to that shit, him drooling on his controller, you know what I'm saying, that he doesn't even have use of his limbs, so who the fuck is he to talk about you? All that just wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Just wild shit. That if that was his people's, if that was his kid, if that was, you know what I'm saying, someone close to him, he wouldn't say. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're saying this because they attacked you first, don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, there's so much shit that you could hit him for that you don't even have to go with the moral grandstanding shit. Just like that, I want to say it was like a soldier or something who ended up tongue-kissing a fucking shotgun. And he sat there and fucking laughed and had a fucking good old time with that bullshit. There's nothing cool about that, man. There's nothing cool about any of that at all. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Niggas have said a lot worse. Done a lot worse. I said one fucking thing in 2020. Got banned from the quote-unquote FG Corny. Triumphed everybody in success over there, by the way, unless you won one of those Oiler tournaments. It's like people are 100% programmed into just thinking. You just say, oh, Lowtiergod's a bad dude, but you don't even know why the fuck you saying that. Because you can't name me not a goddamn thing that I've done that would label me a bad person. What, because I laughed at it for...
Now, here's the reason why he bitching. Let me actually tell you why he's really crying about this. There's a bunch of new age people that are coming into the FGC currently, and they like to point out some of the problems with the FGC, and one of the many arguments or examples, I should say, one of the many examples they point to is like LTG, because there is a movement, believe it or not, there is a movement in the FGC to get him unbanned from Capcom Cup and Evo, which will sooner than later happen, to be honest. So keep in mind with that. And despite how much he says he doesn't give a shit about it, he do. And truth be told, I don't know if Cyril Blast should have been able to come back as soon as they did, but I mean, at least they apologized, whether they meant it or not. And all LTG had to do was pretty much the same fucking thing. But at the same time, you have guys like Ultra David and a few other people behind the scenes that were working real hard and waited a long ass time for LTG to fuck up so they could kick his ass out. That's a fact. That's a legitimate fact. But it is what it is. He's just... Oh, anyway, there's a small demographic of these kind of new guys coming up who are like, you know, hey, if the FGC is supposed to be so inclusive, this, that, and the third, then why are people like, you know, LTG allowed to be in here? Why do you guys tolerate his shit? Why is he glorified to some degree? Which I think that's a reach, to be honest with you. Just because people think he's funny doesn't mean they glorify him. Stuff like that. And the truth is, it's a struggle session. There are bad people in all communities. Arturo Sanchez is a piece of massive fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? And look at how many people came to his fucking, after he finally apologized or whatever. Look at how many people end up coming up to him and, you know, basically trying to rally behind him. But not everybody. There's still people who are like, no, you're a bad person, you're a piece of shit. If you want to have your place in the community, fine, but I don't want it to be around me. It falls in place for LTG, it falls in place for everybody else. It is what it is. But, and yet again, it's a small demographic of this new gen who are speaking like that. It is what it is. And in truth, they may not completely know why. They may have just seen a bunch of clips and they go off of that. But at the same time, those are some pretty hard-hitting clips, man. They really do tell the tale of the tape. It's not like it's taken out of context or anything. You said this thing, and you laughed about it. And you said you didn't give a fuck what other people thought, whether they agreed with you or not. So just eat that shit.
For exploding his jack-o'-lantern? Bro, that's just my reaction. I grew up off rotten.com. Like, that's just my reaction. Somebody wanted me to look at it. What was I supposed to? What, that still don't make me a bad person. What's the difference of me going on rotten.com growing up, laughing at shit I see on that site versus somebody sending me somebody exploding their jack-o'-lantern?
I mean, okay, fair enough, but you need to grow out of that. You're trying to actually move around in life and do some shit. You laughing at some shit when you were a kid in the comfort of your own home, and then you putting shit on the internet, which people are going to use. It's not a matter of whether they will or not. They're going to use this shit to judge you. And you're trying to build something, right? Allegedly, he's trying to be a model, an actor, whatever the fuck. He's certainly in the wrong state to be doing that, but whatever. People are going to judge you for that shit. If you're fucking a mongoloid and you haven't figured that shit out yet, then you deserve everything that comes at you. It is what it is. You make your living on the internet from your face, your personality, and whatever it is that you produce. That's how people judge you. I don't understand how this is so hard to fucking figure out. You can go ahead and say whatever the fuck you want to say about what you did in the past. That's like someone who grew up in a house that was their white supremacists and their Klan members or whatever. And then they finally get out into the real world as they get older and they still keep spewing that same bullshit. But then they're like, oh, well, I'm not racist. This is just how... Nah, that's not how that works, champ. Just because that was commonplace where you from, in the real world, in the world outside of that shell, this is what it is.
How does that make me a bad person? I just couldn't believe it. If I'm gonna put it like this, chat, I want you to laugh at me. Check this out. I'm on stream. I'm like, hold on, guys, I got a call. Like, wait a minute, you're in a relationship? No, fuck you then, bitch. You know what, fuck it, it's over. Bro, you know how many people laugh at me? If I just exploded my jack-o'-lantern because the bitch said it was over. A bitch tells me it's over. That means that's the end of my life. I lose a job. That's the end of my life. If I was gonna
for some people, believe it or not, I mean, it doesn't justify it, obviously. But for some people, like, you know what I'm saying? If there's a job that you worked really hard to get to and whatnot, and you lose it on for whatever reason, some people may think it's the end of their life if they, you know, if they associate their identity with that job. If you're with a woman or a guy or whatever you're into that you're really into, that you really love and give a shit about, and you find out they cheated on you or they're breaking up with you or whatever, there's some people who just can't handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Does it make it right? No, but that's just the reality of it.
Chat, I don't, veteran or not, I know veterans get cut slack for putting on some shit that they chose to do. If I was gonna chat, I would have done it when I lost my YouTube channel. And everybody would have laughed at me. If I would have...
This struggle session is starting to get... this struggle session is starting to get out of control a little bit.
You would have seen on Twitter that I in 2022, everybody would have fucking laughed. It would have been a complete joke, no matter what I did, so on and so forth. So if I see somebody explode their jack-o'-lantern over something that's changeable, how does that make me a bad person? That's my reaction. That's me. I'm not the type of human being that is empathetic for crying or doing dumb shit to themselves.
All right, fair enough, then own it. But if people have the opinion that you're a bad person because of your reaction, then you just have to take that and move with it. You just got to move on that. You're basically telling people, hey, that was my reaction. If you don't like it, I don't care if you don't like it. That's just my authentic reaction. All right, fair enough. But now, if people choose to say, well, damn, he's a piece of shit, he's a bad person, he's an asshole, or whatever, you've got to move on that too. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that works. You can't have it both ways.
Like, it's just not the way I'm wired, because every outcome could be changed. You lose.
And then here's the thing. What he's saying right now actually contradicts what he said before. He said that if he had sat there and exploded his own jack-o'-lantern, right, people would be laughing and this, that, and the third, or whatever. But then he's trying to sit there and say, oh, well, I don't have any sympathy or empathy for other people, so why should I give a fuck? So why should anybody give a fuck if it happens to you? Damn, stupid.
Lose a job, you want to come, all right, what the fuck? You lose a bitch, you want to come, what the fuck? Or you lose a bitch, you want to come her? You lose a job, you want to come your boss? None of this shit makes sense. So when people when people are programmed to say I'm a bad person, you don't even know why the fuck you saying that. Because there's nothing I've done in society that would quote unquote make me a bad person. Because Because I clowned some pussy ass niggas from my chat that came in here trying to say some dumb shit? Bro, I'm gonna defend myself. Out of all,
You sound like a bitch. Legit. Holy fuck, all you lol cows sound like bitches. You guys got to run around here and get mad because people say some shit to you in your chat or your comment section, and this is how y'all motherfuckers cry about it, and then get mad that people judge you based off of your response. Holy shit, you all sound like bitches.
all these years, when people, all those outbursts that you guys see, it's all people coming in my chat bothering me. I didn't just...
So the lack of self-control, the lack of optics, none of that shit exists, huh? All right, fair enough.
I didn't just see you in the chat like, hold on, you said, the fuck this nigga say? You said it had to be for something? Bruh. See, that's the type of shit I'm talking about, you... Or matter of fact, let's make it even more stupid. Hold on, your name Casual Doc? See, that's what I'm saying, like, fuck Casual Doc. Like, you really... No, everything I ever said was remedial. I'm not a bad person because I've rebutted stalking and slandering me for no reason for years and multiple years. That doesn't make me no bad person. Boy. I never robbed nobody. I never calmed nobody. I never argued no chicks. I never sexually assaulted no women. I never did a motherfucking thing that society would deem me as a bad person.
I mean, truth be told, we don't even really know that. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to put nothing on him like that. But, like, we don't know. I mean, shit, he was hiding a kid for a better part of a decade and no one knew that. You know what I'm saying? Not only was he hiding the child, but he wasn't taking care of the child for a better part of a decade. So who knows what this motherfucker's done and hasn't done? You know what I'm saying? Or what he's been accused of or he hasn't been accused of. Let's be honest.
Not one motherfucking thing. I never stole no whips, nothing. I never did shit like that. So people are literally just programmed to say dumb shit.
Oh boy.
Because it's just cool to say. You think you're gonna get cool points of life by saying some dumb shit. One motherfucker say Section 8.
Now keep in mind, this is the same motherfucker who does reaction content, right? And says wild ass, crazy ass shit. He ain't went at DDG recently and shit. I mean, come to find out, he may have been right as it pertains to the view botting or whatever. But then that makes him a hypocrite because LTG's been accused of view botting. And there's actually some decent proof that he may have done it. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like the same type of actions that have been taken towards LTG, he's done that towards other people. That's the reason why his reaction content before his main channel, YouTube channel, went down and never came back. That's the reason why that popped off the way it did. He was at a point where he needed to do something. He needed to do something. So he went into reaction content, which most people would tell you is the bottom of the barrel. And it worked. You know what I'm saying? For a while, at the very least, until he lost the channel.
All you dumb niggas, not you niggas in chat, but all these dumb niggas think all of a sudden I'm a grown man on Section 8.
But aren't the dumb ninjas in the chat some of the same guys that are talking shit about you? All right, whatever.
Like,
I get what he means. He's talking about the guys who rock with him, but whatever.
You see how people are programmed to just follow like idiots? I'm just like, bro, like, you know how difficult it is for like a single nigga could never even get on Section 8. Like, that's for bitches with anthropoids. Or maybe a single dad with like 3 to 4 anthropoids. So I'm just like, damn, niggas really be programmed. Like, I'm walking in Walmart, some ugly.
I mean, you literally was living in Section 8 housing though. You know what I'm saying? What was that guy's name? Shallow Dawn proved, well, it was proven before that, but Shallow Dawn actually proved that shit. He actually went out there and took a tour of Dale's old complex or whatever, and he saw a unit that was similar to his. And yeah, that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. You couldn't afford anything better. You know what I'm saying? You were at that point in the tax bracket where you needed that. And I guess eventually you came out of it. I don't know. I don't know what the actual circumstances of the home that he lives in and what that's about, but I do know that he has over $120,000 in debt over his head, maybe more than that. So it makes me wonder how you're affording both, but semantics.
You're gonna fist bump me, some geek. He's like, oh shit, OTG fist bumps me, right? He walks 40 feet away. He's like, bro, you really on Section 8? I said, nigga, do it look like I'm on Section 8? He's like, oh, I was just playing, bro. I'm like, now if I really wanted, you're black, so if I really wanted to raw Gout too, it's just like, this is like probably like 22 or something. I ain't tripping off that because it's not something I take personal. It's just like, but why would you ask me?
You took it pretty personal. It sounds like you took it pretty personal, and the fact that he's black, so I guess he's beneath you in some way, right? So that's a thing apparently.
Some corny TikTok shit. I could have been like, oh, I got this outside.
Because anybody from any background could have a dumb question if you consider it a dumb question. You know what I'm saying? The color of their skin doesn't dictate any of that.
Or I live here, or blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck you mean? But I was just like, do it look like I'm on Section 8?
There's a bunch of people on Section 8 and whatnot that fucking dressing, that have drip. You know what I'm saying? Fucking all the way down to the socks. That don't mean shit. That's kind of the fundamental problem on why people clown other people that are on Section 8. How is it that you can barely have fucking food in the fucking refrigerator and shit, or you guys can barely keep your lights on, but every time you guys can go to the club and shit, or you guys are dressed with, you know what I'm saying, in the most recent shit, like recent fashion and shit. You guys are pushing cars that you theoretically shouldn't be able to afford. You know what I'm saying? How is that a thing? You know what I mean? Now, does that apply to everybody on Section 8? No, but it does apply to a demographic, and they're not all black. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Fucking A.
So I'm just playing, bro. Like, it's just like, motherfuckers really be programmed. That's what I'm saying. Why fist bump me first? That's what I'm saying. You see how niggas are cowards?
Oh, boy.
Why fist bump first? I didn't even know what the fuck he was fist bump before. He's just like, oh, what's well, he said LTG, so that's what it was for. And I'm just like, bro, the nigga waited till he got like 30 feet away. He'd be like, bro, you really on that Section 8? I'm like, well, I could like dismantle you. But like, what would that prove? What everybody wants me to be, like some fucking angry devil ass Lucifer? So it's just like, I just be.
I mean, he's definitely angry. He's definitely angry as fuck. It's funny how he used DSP's whole "Am I the devil?" or "I'm Satan" or all that other silly shit. It's funny how they all gravitate to the same excuse sooner than later.
Wonder, I'm like, exactly. If I would have snapped, then I would have. We told you, Lowtiergod was like, we told you, like. That's people really want me to crash out and be on the news for some mass this, mass that, or that I destroyed somebody in public, or, you know, calm somebody, so on and so forth. That's really what people want. But yeah, bro. I'm like, what the fuck do people be talking about when they like, I'm a bad person? I just always thought that was funny, because it's like every time you ask somebody, they don't have no answers. Oh, like you did said tons of people to stuff in chat. Bro, I had some dumb bitch from back in the day tell.
I mean, it's funny how he says they don't have an answer, yet he's literally repeating what their answers are. So I don't know if he doesn't understand what not having an answer means, or does he mean an answer that's not suitable to his narrative? Womp womp.
Tell me that I hurt a lot of people. I said how and when and what and where. Bitch couldn't even answer the question. Hurt who?
I don't know if he's hurt a lot of people, but he's certainly insulted a lot of people. I don't know if I could actually classify as that him hurting a lot of people. He said a lot of really stupid shit and whatnot. All he has to do is own it. You said at the time you didn't give a fuck, so just own that shit and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? It can only hurt you as long as you let it hurt you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But he says these people don't have any valid points against him, or they don't have a right to call him a bad person. But then he cries and complains about all the opportunities that he missed out on because of these set people who push this narrative. When in truth, it is his own voice. It's a clip from his stream, him saying some shit. And how that person perceives it is how they perceive it. Just because you say you're not a bad person doesn't make it true. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the court of public opinion, so to speak.
I'm the streamer. I'm the fucking creator. I'm the YouTuber. What the? I'm the nigga that goes live. Like, I don't know the fuck these peons. Or how the fuck I hurt niggas that come in my chat saying dumb shit to me. Telling you, man, the average human being is a fucking moron. I would say, chat, 99% of people who you interact with throughout the course of your life are going to be complete fucking idiots. I promise you that. It's going to be rare that you meet somebody who really stimulates your cognitive, somebody who has logical thinking skills.
Yeah, but that's not something that LTG has. Can he be funny or entertaining? Is he quick-witted? You know what I'm saying? Can he take a punch and roll with it and turn it into something else? Sure, absolutely. That doesn't make him intelligent. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that he stimulates any real thinking or any cognitive thought or whatever. He has times when he's entertaining. All right, fair enough. It's nothing deeper than that.
Somebody who doesn't think inside the box. You're going to meet dimwits your whole fucking life. Just like you're going to run through numerous worthless bitches, and then you might meet like 1-2 solid in your entire life. Same shit with everybody else you interact with.
People who hate themselves hate people who don't hate themselves and aren't verbally chained by a brand. It's always been that way.
Yeah. And let me add to this. She said, people call me a fake tough guy, yet don't say anything. Exactly. It's like, let me ask you this. And here's the thing. Why would I need to be tough if niggas weren't always acting like they was going to say some shit to me IRL? I would only need to be tough if it caused for me to be tough, right? If I'm chilling, minding my, why would I need to be tough? Like, why would I need?
He does need to be careful about that. The fact that no one that we know of has run up on him in IRL and really pressed his buttons and shit, he's been very fortunate because no one cares enough. That's the reality of it. But sooner than later, someone's going to want to go out there and test that shit. I don't advocate for it. I'm just saying that sooner than later, someone's going to want to go out there and see what's really popping with that. And we'll see what's up after that. Now, I assume that he'll just go for whatever gun that he fucking owns currently, because he has to have one. If you don't own a pistol at this point, he's a goddamn idiot. But outside of that, I mean, he's not going to throw hands with anybody. His size doesn't mean anything, especially given the drumsticks that he's walking around on. Man, one stiff fucking kick to the knees, bro, brings everybody down to the same fucking size, as far as I'm concerned.
Be a tough streamer or a tough YouTuber if I didn't feel like niggas was trying to threaten me or some shit like that. Or if niggas act like they're going to do XYZ, but it's a person that's all fist bumps and pics and, oh my God, you're a legend and XYZ. I'm a bully. Bro, I ain't never been no bully. If anything, in my life, niggas have tried to bully me. Whole classrooms in fucking 3rd grade because I was tall. Everybody was fucking shrimps and short and bite size. Whole classroom hated me. Like, bro, I wasn't even somebody to dislike. I didn't speak. So it's just like, what grown ass man is not going to defend himself if you're on some dumb shit? Ask yourself that question. Or are you just going to sit here and let? So
he was tall and a bitch. The fuck? How is it that you got a height advantage and theoretically a reach advantage, and you ain't let a bunch of smurfs and sit out there and punk your ass into silence? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Just punk you IRL.
That's on some Gargamel shit, dog. They just stay punking your ass. And then as you got older, you ain't sat there and gotten brave. That's crazy.
Or put hands on you. You're not going to do anything. The average logical man is going to fucking defend himself. They claim to hate me because I'm a narcissist. Well, here's the thing. I mean,
that's a character trait. That's nothing to hate his ass for per se. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't think it's a good enough reason to hate him because he's a fucking narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he's a piece of shit who thinks he believes that he's, you know, superstar status when he's not even a diamond in the rough where he's from. You know what I'm saying? He's just like any other delusional motherfucker who's walking the streets. That's all he is. I don't even think that's narcissism anymore. I think we overuse that term a little bit because realistically, he's as mentally fucking stunted as most of the other lolcows that are running around here. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he has it a little bit more together mentally than some of these other guys. But then if you really listen to the shit that he's saying, he's just as broken as they are. You know what I mean? He's just able to hold it together a little bit better.
Peon, that's a man, would look at another man and dislike him for being a narcissist. That means you lack that. You lack the confidence that you wish that individual had. That's why you're labeling that person a narcissist. What I do with my I don't know if I could say narcissism and confidence are
are mutually exclusive like that. I don't think that's actually a thing and whatnot. Because you can be confident and not be a narcissist. And you can be a narcissist and not be confident. And, you know what I'm saying? He definitely falls into the latter more than the former. A lot of little cows do.
My cognitive and my personality is my business. Just because you're a shrimp, a squeegee, afraid of how you look in person, hide behind PFPs that are cartoon, have private profiles on Instagram, don't work out, don't do shit in society to make yourself pop. Narcissism is something that only...
Well, you supposedly do all those things and you can't pop off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, like that modeling thing ain't working, that his movie star bullshit ain't working. You know what I'm saying? He spends the majority of time in the gym. That's kind of how he's built his identity, because the FGC has been taken away from him. If not, he would have both. You know what I'm saying? YouTube was another part of his identity until that got stripped from him. Twitch was a big part of his fucking identity until that part was stripped of him. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of the shit that he kind of holds on to could be taken from him in one way, shape, or form. So who is Dale Wilson or whatever the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Who is he as the person? Who is he as the man? He never really tells you any of that. He identifies with what he does that makes him better than everybody else. But he doesn't actually tell you who he is as the man, as the person. Something to think about.
A woman should label a guy. If you're a guy calling a narcissist and you're angry at that man for being a narcissist, that means you're jealous of his confidence. That's what that means. Only women should be able to label men narcissists. If you're a man calling another man a narcissist, like, man, a narcissist, so fuck with him. What you're transitioning to say is, if I could decipher your code, man, he got ultimate swag. Like, man, the way he carry himself, man, I wish I could carry myself like that. Since we have a multicultural audience, oh my God, like, man, I LTG, but like, it's like, man, the guy's just oozing with confidence. I wish that I could just like be as confident as him, why the whole world hates him. That's basically what it means when it's coming out of a man's mouth, but they label it as narcissist. You're mad because you don't have the confidence I do. Most of these niggas have private PFPs. Go, bro, private profiles. Go look at some of the comments on the recent reel. I'm clicking on some of the responses. All niggas, rogues, and dumb niggas hiding behind fucking private Instagram profiles. Why are you on social media as a man? Why are you on social media as a man with a private profile? Private profiles on social media are for women that don't want to be stalked by guys. Same shit.
That's a two-way street, though. There are plenty of guys online and whatnot who have social media profiles and get stalked by other men and women. And who do you think is going to be able to get past your defenses easier, a man or a woman? If you're a man, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. I mean, fucking A, there are women who stalk other women, especially on the gram. Fucking A, let alone Twitter.
With male VTubers. Why are you a male VTuber? VTubing should be for women who want to hide from fucking weirdos, because
that's a pretty interesting take. It's a dumbass take, to be honest with you, but that's a pretty interesting take.
Guys are weirdos and are weak to the fucking flesh. A male VTuber, why? Show your fucking face. Ain't nobody gonna come up and try to chakra you. Chicks, I understand 100%. Women, I understand women VTubers 100,000%. Guys are fucking weirdos. Men are stupid. The average man's an idiot. Weak to the flesh, looking at ass, hypnotized by tits and pussy. So
this is coming from the same guy who literally goes on people's like Instagram and Twitter profiles, females in particular, and is fucking thirsting over them on stream. Keep that in mind. Just because you do it don't mean the rest of us do. Fucking A.
On and so forth. You deserve to have VTubing. Male VTubers.
When's the last time he had a box that he didn't have to pay for, or he wasn't sharing with somebody else?
It's crazy to me. So it's equivalent to that. Any man that labels another man a narcissist negatively, you're a fucking peon.
So you would rather be labeled a narcissist in a positive way? Okay, I guess.
It's none of your business how a nigga carries himself. If a man wants to carry himself with the utmost respect for himself and has a God complex, well, so fucking be it. It's my body, my soul. Maybe you should try it. Only a woman should be able to say a man has a God complex. Only a woman should be able to say a man is a narcissist. If you're a man using those two terms against another man, you lack the confidence and you wish you had the confidence that that guy has. That's the definition for that. That's all it really means to me. So just to wrap this shit up, I just asked 800 niggas, all right? How am I a bad person? Nobody had a logical, nobody had an actual answer. It's based off of just like, well, I mean, I did hear like, well, you know what? Damn, LTG, what do you think about it? You know, you didn't R anybody, you didn't calm anybody, you didn't steal from anybody, you didn't sexually harass women, you didn't. I mean, well, damn.
Oh, man.
Well, shit. I rest my case.
That's not even a case. Like, he went after the same type of, like, the same examples that people have been using against him for years, right? There's plenty of stuff he could do. On top of the fact that he wasn't even man enough to accept what people say about him, and he had to go after some shit that happened 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's typical lol cow shit, to be honest with you. Try to distance yourself from the bad behavior as much as you can. Try to downplay that bad behavior and whatever, and act like you were being attacked first, so you could somehow try to shrug the responsibility off for initially throwing the first stone. And you're just misunderstood. You're on another lane or another, you're in another lane, or you're on another level and or plateau that other people can't grasp. And that's why they hate you, which is all just cope, to say the very least. Well, there you go on that. Interesting stuff to say the very least, I guess. Anywho, so there you guys go. That's LTG's rebuttal to people believing that he's a bad person, he's a brand risk and all that. As it pertains to being a brand risk, it depends on what it is. There's a lot of products that'll pick up anybody. Publicity is publicity, good, bad, or otherwise. What LTG wants is he wants that shit that the other guys have, that people really gravitate to and people use as a status symbol to prop themselves up. And he's just not there. You know what I'm saying? And he's clout chased after a lot of the big streamers. He's gotten mad at a lot of the big streamers because they got opportunities that he didn't. Does that make him a bad person? No. It makes him a bitch, though. It definitely makes him a bitch. So it's funny how he's going to sit there like, what's the dude's name? Like Kai. He ain't been hating on Kai forever. Now, he respects Kai, I think. Especially when Kai was kind of sort of vibing with him, or at least his content for a little bit. But then when Kai started to distance himself from that shit, which makes sense, then all of a sudden LTG felt a certain type of way about it, which can't blame him. That's just the reality of it. Can't vibe with everybody. And at the end of the day, if you associate with problematic people, you're going to bring problematic shit to yourself. You see that with fucking Wings. You see that with fucking DSP. You see that with fucking Review Tech USA. Name one person that's dealt with them who hasn't had some type of negativity from it in one way, shape, or form. And it wasn't so much because of the people who follow, you know, the lol cow in question, but it's how the lol cow themselves act. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they have the following in the first place that hate on them, or whatever, or judges them, or critiques them, or whatever. And then anybody who associates with them will eventually become collateral damage, unless they end up exposed to be a degenerate or whatever the fuck they end up becoming later on down the line. So make of that what you will. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. Oh, what a fascinating little head case that LTG may turn out to be. And we'll see. We'll see what he's got. See if it's worth anything. But him being pissed off is just amusing to me. Like, you're not gonna be he kind of built himself up on not giving a fuck what people think. And as time has come about or has gone on, he realizes, holy shit, I need people to kind of support me. I'm really gonna take off. But he has supporters. The thing is the supporters that he attracts are kind of bought into his mindset where, oh, I don't give a fuck what people say about me. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna say what I want because I'm a real one. Okay, well, being a real one has a price. Apparently, LTG's too broke to pay it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Take care of yourselves. Just be easy. Later, people.
Lies are no actors. Pick your character, don't want to represent your life. You start with anybody, so make your choice right.
Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.